Croatia-Denmark wasn't the best quality game. I'm not going to lie. I think the Danish tactics were there to throttle the Croatian skillful players, so they did. They restricted the Croatia's skillful midfield players and Rakitic, Modric from really getting on top of the game. The first two goals happened in the first 4 minutes, and unfortunately, I actually missed them both. I was busy, doing housework, and I had to do other things. But both were goalmouth scrambles. Both were very fortunate goals in the sense that there were a few deflections in there, and they went over the line. But that's the first time in the World Cup I do believe that the first two goals of a game have been scored within 4 minutes. This World Cup keeps breaking records. So stats, hardcore stats buffs will love this World Cup. The records that have been broken and the figures being put up. The first half was fizzing a little bit, and as the game went on, the fizz went out of the game, and it became a little bit, let's deal with the conditions and the tactics. Denmark got the tactics right to frustrate Croatia. Croatia put a lot of energy in, but they were misplacing too many passes. They were getting frustrated. However, when it went out of time, Denmark were on top in the first half of extra time. Croatia got back in the second half of extra time, and they did have a penalty. Rebic was brought down in the box. Luka Modric doesn't get the best penalty. He doesn't strike it right. Schmeichel guesses right, saves it. And going to a penalty shootout, that's in the back of the Croatian players' minds. They go on and win the shootout because Subasic pulls off 3 saves and Schmeichel only pulls off 2. And Modric gets his penalty and he puts it down the middle. And Rakitic scores the winning penalties. The players that Denmark wanted to constrain in midfield have the biggest say in the penalty shootout. And admittedly, it wasn't the best game, but it was still tense, and you could still sense the tension and the energy that the players were putting in there. The heat and humidity has been an issue at this World Cup. I'm currently sat in my room, in my house, and it's still at 10 o'clock, near on 26 degrees at 10 p.m. In the UK. It's midnight in Russia. It's still around roughly the same temperature. They were saying during the game, in the first half, it was 27 degrees and 70% humidity at 10 p.m. Russian time, which was just as the kickoff started, basically. So when the second half started, they said it was already high humidity, high temperatures, and the sun had gone down, which says something. That would have had an effect on these players. I'm not sure how the preparations for these teams went before the World Cup, but the heat and humidity, it's been very hot in Europe, it's been very humid in Europe, there's not been a lot of rain. And the rain that we've had has come in thunderstorms, so the heat doesn't go away. That's had an effect. The Danish change in tactics disrupted Croatia's flight and frustrated Croatia. It was not for want of trying, though. I still think this was a better quality game than the Russia-Spain game. Both sides were having chances and both goalkeepers did have to make saves. But it wasn't a free-flowing game. It was a bit stop-start, and it was suiting Denmark. And in the end, the better quality, goalkeeping and penalty taking has won out in the end. It's the second shootout of the day. So if you are just a neutral and you're just watching and you're getting it and you're enjoying the World Cup, I feel sorry for every single neutral, anyone who's picked a team in an office sweepstake or a company sweepstake or a friend sweepstake, because people are going to be palpitating. Some people say penalty shootouts are not the best way to decide a game. But for me, as someone who's grown up with FIFA fiddling around with the silver goal and the golden goal and all that palaver between 98 and 2004, I'm kind of glad that we've gone back to the traditional extra time and penalties. I know not everyone's happy with it. I know not a lot of North American fans are happy with it, but it's a difference in sporting culture. Let's be honest. I'm just hoping that tomorrow's games and Tuesday's games are more like the France-Argentina game that we saw yesterday than the games we had today. We'll have to see if the heat and humidity is still having an effect, and tactically. Uruguay also, that was a decent game as well last night. But it's going to be interesting. Russia now play Croatia in the quarterfinals. Who would have predicted that? I would have predicted Croatia go quite far in the tournament. They've got some star players. The Russians get into a quarterfinal. I wouldn't have had that on my prediction. However, they are the host nation. They've got a bit of momentum behind them now. They've beaten one of the world's best teams in Spain. That's going to be a great quarterfinal. And I'm going to leave that there. Not the best game. I do believe the heat and humidity has had a massive impact on the players tonight, because it's having an impact on me, and I'm not doing exercise. I'm not running around for 120 minutes plus a penalty shootout, and I am sweating buckets in my house. and my house is a very airy house. So you've got to imagine what it's like for them in a stadium with about 60,000 people in it. It's going to be hot and really intense. So fair play to them. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you tomorrow.